Welcome to the Connectable podcast.
The Connectable podcast starts in 3, 2, 1. We just kind of start talking on this show now.
That's it. That's the start.
So here we go.
That's how we do it. What's going on?
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm great, and you're better now that I have a microphone that works.
It's so much better because here's the thing. I have to listen to this to, find the clips that we're going to use. I have to listen to it, to edit it, all that stuff. And not that I do a ton of editing, but I do have to listen to it. And so it's worse since we've done Zoom because the audio quality was so much better when we were in studio because we had a better recorder, we had better mics. Mm-hmm. And you finally got a new mic. I think since we started, did you have this mic when we interviewed Trav?
I don't think so. I think this is Jordan. Well, wait, maybe. Yeah, I think we did. Because I think it was Trav and then
Jordan.
And then Jordan. Oh, maybe it was Jordan.
I can't remember.
Okay, maybe. I don't know.
It might have been Jordan. All I know is that my ears are so happy right now because this sounds so much better. And I know some people are listening thinking the sound is still not great, but what can you do? It's Zoom. I mean, we're stuck with this right now, exactly. Which you and I were just talking before we started recording. Feels like it's been forever since we've been doing this.
Yeah, I feel like we've always been doing it this way. Like that's how long it feels like, which we haven't. Like right. We did it in person for what, a year and a half, almost a year and a half.
Yeah, or maybe even like a year and a few months.
Yeah.
Because it was March, everything kind of shut down.
Yeah. So, I mean, with our Character Combine podcast. So
go check it out. Character Combine.
Yeah. So with that one, with this one, we started off this way, obviously, because we had different plans for this one. We wanted to do it in person in a video setting.
Right.
Because of COVID, we're like, we can't wait anymore. Let's just do it over Zoom.
Yeah. Which just the statement that you made about how it feels like we've been doing it this way forever. When you include the Combine podcast, It just makes me mad. You know what I mean? Like it's so upsetting because I feel the same way sometimes. Like I think we even mentioned it to Trav when we had him on because he was asking us if we wanted to do a studio type setting and record in person, which I would do that every time. And I would never do this again if I didn't have to. But, it's just the situation that we're in right now. And it is just kind of normal now. And it's going to be so much fun when we actually get back into a studio and do this in person like we used to, because I think about that sometimes and you forget. I don't know about you, but I forget sometimes how much fun those podcasts, like how much more fun they are in person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just a different thing. Like it's the timing's better. You can read people's reaction a little bit better when you're talking to them, and it's just a better experience. But like you said, we can wait as long as we want for things to change, and that's just going to delay this thing that we're trying to accomplish now. And there's really no purpose or point to it, which is, what can you do?
Well, and I think a good thing that's come out of this is that we feel comfortable using Zoom, obviously, because even way back when, before we were forced to use Zoom, we talked about it. Remember, we talked about like, oh, maybe let's try Skype because we wanted to, I think it was, you're going to have to help me. Who was it that we wanted to interview?
Jason Tenner.
No, I'm saying like way back before, like when we were still way before COVID, we wanted to interview Mark Munoz.
Oh,
and we wanted to Skype with him and or something. And we're like, oh, how do we do that? So then COVID happened.
Oh, yeah. I know you're talking about now.
Then we had Zoom practice and then we got Mark and we're like, we got this. It's cool. So I think a positive thing is that we've been able to interview people out of state, out of town, like just because we're so comfortable with it. And I think even when we do get back in the studio, we could still do it like this with those who can't be with us here in Sacramento.
Oh yeah, no, I've definitely,
Yeah.
as you know, my mind is constantly going when it comes to this podcast, and I just have a note in my phone full of ideas, and I've definitely
Mhm.
thought about this multiple times, how we're gonna continue to make out of town guests possible
Yeah.
when we go back, and
Yeah.
so we'll figure it out. You know, it will look
Yeah.
a little bit different, but I think it will still, hopefully, like you said before, we'll be pros at this side of things, and then once we go back, we'll just be able to carry that over and just kind of mesh the two things seamlessly.
I
uh,
think so.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, anyways, if you're not aware of when this is being recorded, it is December 29th, I believe, is today's
Yes.
date. Yep, December
Yes.
29th. So we're coming up on the new year. This is the last podcast before
It's true.
the new year 2021, and I know that most people, I don't know if many people have been this excited for a new year in a long time. I mean, it's always an exciting time, but I feel like right now,
Yeah.
I think it's a little different. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I'm a huge meme person whenever I'm scrolling through social media and I see so many memes about like, people think that all of a sudden midnight 2021, COVID's gone back to normal. The year
Yeah.
is better. It's going to be a brand new year, which which is fun. I mean, it's not funny. It's just like,
It's kind
yeah,
of
I
funny.
don't,
It's
it's
kind of
kind of
funny.
funny. But
Yeah.
it's like, yes, I'm so ready for this year to be over too. But then again, I don't know when this thing is going to end. But I mean, whatever. We're all in the same boat. We just make the best of it and do our best to stay safe. But yeah, the new year sounds a lot better than right now this year. So
Oh, for
hope-
sure. But you're right though.
hopefully, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. You are right though. I feel like that does seem to be the
Yeah,
mentality, that once the clock strikes midnight, all of a sudden it's going to be
everything's
completely
good.
different. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's just not going to be the case. Maybe we're wrong though. Maybe
Yeah.
that will happen. That'd be awesome. I would love to come back on our next episode and say, hey, things are completely different. We were
I
wrong.
know,
As soon as
right?
midnight hit, it was all good.
That'd be
But
great.
it doesn't seem like it's going to be that way, unfortunately.
No.
I'm going to be honest. I am really done and tired of the 2020 jokes and all of it.
Mhm.
It's too much. It's too much, because here's the problem. You have people recycle these jokes
Yeah.
and you have them pass it on. It's like, oh, I can't take it anymore. Especially, I mean, I think it's safe to say you and I are on social media a pretty good amount of time.
Hmm.
Especially now that we're doing this podcast, I feel like we're on even more, and I just can't take it anymore. No more 2020 jokes. It's too much. I've heard them all. I feel like
I know.
that's just me.
Uh,
Maybe this, I'm bad
uh,
sport.
I know, right? One of my friends was showing me an ornament on her Christmas tree,
Yeah.
and it said 2020, and it was like a block looking thing, and it
Okay.
had all like the words and it had everything on it about 2020. It had like Zoom on it, Google Classroom. It had the word mask, social distance, Lysol. Like it had all of the COVID stuff and all of the changes and stuff on it. And she's like, here's the 2020 ornament. And I'm like, oh my God, you're killing me. And so yeah,
That's brutal.
2020 is now like forever going to be that, the year. It's like, I don't think nothing this big has happened since the Depression. I don't think, about 100 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty wild.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
yeah, a lot packed into 1 year,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And we could spend all podcasts talking about those things,
Right.
but why? I mean,
Why?
I feel like there's a lot of
Switch
other
it up.
podcasts that do the same thing and talk
Yeah.
about everything that went bad, but I mean, I would rather talk about some of the positive things. And I feel like that's one of the common themes of this year. Is I feel like a lot of people seem to have learned a lot of different life lessons, or they've come to certain realizations as the year has gone on, because of the situation and the quarantine, and people finding themselves in really difficult situations, whether it be their jobs and finances, or their families and the stress that's putting on their families.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people have learned something through this entire year, and
Yeah.
obviously some of those lessons haven't been the easiest, but they have learned something either about life or about themselves. Have you learned anything about yourself or about life, or have you walked away with a couple of thoughts about I guess things that 2020 has forced you to be a little bit more introspective about?
I mean, definitely just to be resilient and to switch things on a dime, like with my teaching and with having to go to distance, like we had to relearn how to teach everything all over again. So, um, and just adjusting and I guess it's taught me to just realize, and I've always felt this way anyway, it just has kind of solidified it, that I can complain until the end of the day and that doesn't change anything. And so my coworkers and I would catch ourselves like, just because of our job's different and it just looks, but at the end of I would catch myself and say, no, like I have a job. I have a job. That's it, period, and done, like go back to work. And so it's taught me to be more grateful for what I do have. Just I know a lot of people have not been as fortunate with their jobs, with lives, with just family members, with just the toll it's taken on everyone. So it's definitely taught me to be just grateful and to just be okay with slowing down. That's the other thing, is that my work came to a halt. I still, my job is still there and it's just different. And the athletic side of my job is like completely gone. So I have the teaching side still there, fully intact, keeping me as busy as ever in that aspect. But I'm used to cramming a lot of things into my day in terms of after I'm done teaching, I have a game to work. I have like a parent athlete meeting to hold. I have just stuff to do that my athletic director just, I help her out with. And that's gone. There's no more there's no sports right now. And so I've very much found myself feeling like useless in that sense. I'm like, I can't, there's nothing I can do. So just allowing myself to let that go and to just be like, well, I don't know what else. There's nothing we can do right now except for, just try to be as positive as possible. So I don't know, I guess the word of the year is adaptability and resiliency for me, and just kind of taking things one day at a time, and everything will be okay in the end. So I don't know, I've kind of believed all those things anyway. Nothing that I can think of that has been like a complete 180 like change and learning experience for me, but just more things that are solidified and more things that I've realized like, okay, like I do believe in this and this kind of solidifies it. So
That's great.
Yeah,
No, I'm with you. I feel like I kind of think we're in a similar space as far as the things that we've learned. I think being able to pivot, like you said, on a dime is huge, because I think that the most successful people in life, whether it's because of the pandemic or even if it was a normal year and there was nothing like this going on, I always felt like the people who were able to pivot whenever things start going bad or when things aren't going to the way you planned them are the most successful, because you could never trap them. You know what I mean? You can never, they're never stuck. It's like, okay, plan A is not working out. Perfect. What's plan B? Oh, plan B didn't work out either. Okay, plan C. And they just keep going through the freaking alphabet because they're like, I have no other choice. I have to keep moving forward, even if it's not the way I expected it to be. And so I think this year, unfortunately, has caused a lot of people to learn that, right? Whether they do it or not is one thing, but I think it's something that they've had to face, right? How do I keep moving forward? Obviously, you and I on our other podcast talk to athletes and coaches. How do I continue to move forward with my athletic career or my training when gyms are shut down? I'm not around my team. My season's over before it even started. How do I keep moving forward? And obviously, you have people in just outside of sports, you have people in situations that are really difficult. I'm in the same boat as you. Like, as far as my job, I've continued to work through this entire thing. I will never complain about things at my job or the problems I'm having there, because why would I? Because there's people that are fighting to keep their job, or some people lost their job during this whole thing. What kind of person would I be if I'm out there complaining when other people that are in way worse situations aren't complaining? It
Right.
makes no sense to me. And as you said too, being grateful. And I think
Yeah.
it's a time when I think there's always something to be grateful for,
Yeah.
no matter
Yeah.
what. I think
Uh,
there's always something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Um,
well, and not to cut you off if you
no,
had
please.
more to
Good.
say. Well, and just, like you were saying, like people, losing their jobs, like all these businesses,
Yeah.
like I guess this is another thing that I guess going out before pre-COVID, just I like to go out a lot. Like I like to go out and eat, and I like to just kind of socialize with friends, and a part of me felt guilty for like spending money and just going. I'm like, man, I should be like cooking more food at home, or I should be meal prepping, or blah blah blah. Now I'm like the opposite. Now I'm like, no, I'm gonna go support these businesses. I'm gonna buy their food. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go to the shop and buy that shirt. Like I'm going, and so now it's almost like it's, I mean, in term, like it's what I want to do, but it's also like, no, like I genuinely want to help them and give them money. So I'm finding myself like tipping like places that just do takeout. Like I'm like, it's almost like a desperate, like, please don't close down. I love your food. I love your material. I love your clothes. I love your whatever. And so that's a part of me. It's a weird thing. It's like I don't know if it's overlooked, but like I've caught myself like wanting to like go out and support them more than ever now. And so just
Yeah.
because, yeah.
Sorry. I feel like that's been the case with a lot of people though. I think
Yeah, a lot.
that's been a
Yes, a lot of
really,
people are doing that. It's good.
well, that's a cool, yeah, it's a really cool thing. So
Right.
you're definitely not alone. That's not a weird thing at all. I
Yeah.
think that's
Okay.
something that people have realized
Ah,
how, because you take it for granted, right? There's a lot of, that's another thing that 2020 has taught us, right? Is there's a lot we take for granted.
right.
Um, and one of those things might be, these shops that you buy clothes at, or the restaurants where it's like, hey, where do you want to go? I guess we can go to this place on a Friday night or a Saturday night, right? It's not a big deal in a normal
Right.
year. Now there's some meaning behind it. It's not just the fact that you enjoy the food or you enjoy the clothes or the product that's being sold.
Right.
Your you shopping there, you eating there is actually having an impact on someone's life. It
Yeah.
always is, but now we
Right.
realize it because before that we were kind of taking those things for granted. And so I
Right.
think that was a really cool thing that's happened with all of this, is you realize how much of an impact you can have on your community
Right.
by shopping at these small businesses and supporting these people. And I think it made a lot of people aware of that, which I think is an awesome thing for sure. It's unfortunate, but it
Mhm.
is, it's making the best out of a really bad situation. And if that's something that can be taken from this year, I think that's a really good thing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. Yeah. And just, yeah, so many people posting everywhere, like support small businesses, please save them. And so this is, I guess, my PSA to just anyone listening to this is go get food from a place near you or something. Just like, yeah, it just, because our economy is going to be just awful if businesses keep closing down, and that's awful for their families and just it's just their livelihood. So yeah, I really hope things open up soon, even if it's just like outdoor dining or whatever have you. So
Right.
I know
Right.
it's had a huge impact. So
Yeah.
so
No,
anyway,
I'm
so I
with you.
cut you off back there because I was like, oh yeah, I don't know what you said that reminded me of like shopping and businesses and stuff.
I can't
I don't know.
remember. We do a
Maybe
podcast.
you
We
did.
say a lot of things. I can't remember
I don't
half.
know. I
I
know.
don't even know what we're talking about.
I have no idea how we
Yeah.
got to what we're talking
That's
about
right.
now.
That's all right. Yeah, I don't think you cut me off. I think we're good. I think, I think we're kind of
Mhm.
all saying the same thing
Yeah.
about what we've learned and
Yeah.
the importance of those things.
Absolutely.
And so,
Yeah.
I'm sure, you just look at any post, or
Hmm.
just scroll through Facebook or Instagram, and I feel like you see people talking about these things and all the stuff that 2020 has taught them. And I think it's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, again, not a fun thing. It's not fun for
Yeah.
anybody that's going through it, but if
Right.
you can take something from it, then it's not all a loss, right? You
Yeah.
are gaining something from it. And it's just like failure.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about failure a lot before.
Yeah.
Failure is bad unless you learn something from it. If you learn something from your failure or your mistakes, then all of a sudden that failure is not really a bad thing anymore, right? It's a learning moment, and it's going to make you better in the long run. And if it's just a failure and you learn nothing from it, then it's basically just failure, right? There's nothing to be gained from it. It's just you took an L and that's it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say,
Couldn't agree more.
do you do resolutions?
Oh my gosh. You know, what's funny is I was on a jog the other day and I was thinking exactly that. I don't know why. I listen to music. I don't ever have, anyway, was thinking of like, what's my New Year's resolution going to be? And I'm like, I don't do those anymore. I don't know. I used to do them, and they would be something, it would be something having to do with working out or eating better, just like the typical, I'm going to be healthier this year, or I'm going to read more, or I'm not going to drink so much caffeine, or whatever, what have you,
Finish
no
a book.
alcohol. Right. Yeah. And just, and so I'm jogging and I'm thinking of this, and I literally in my head was like, you know what, my thing, I don't even want to call it a resolution. I'm still unclear as to what that even means. But my thing for this year is just every day work on being a better version of me, or give myself permission to be a better version of me. Like that's it. I mean, that's typical as well. Like you see all these posts, be a better version of yourself. But that's like, honestly, that's just what I'm going to focus on, I think.
Cool. Yeah. No, I was just curious.
What about
you? No, not necessarily. I mean, I always find resolutions funny, especially now for some reason. Like, I feel like we've talked about this before, but resolutions are weird now because I feel like you have some people that, you know, they see January 1st as this time to set their resolution and then get started on whatever they want to get started on, which is awesome. Like, I don't think that's a bad thing. And then you always hear people say, it's like, well, but you know, X amount of people will go to the gym on January 1st. And then by this time, they're not going to be there anymore. It's like, is that really necessary? Like, we all kind of know it, but it's like, it feels like we should just be encouraging those people instead of, you know, basically saying, hey, in about a month, you know, you're going to fail, right? It's like, why would you say that? And then you say, you know, you have other people that just don't believe in resolutions because they're like, well, I can start on this anytime, which is true too. So it just becomes, I feel like a lot of times it becomes a thing like, what is a resolution? Like you said, what is a resolution? And then it's almost like it turns into what is a person's opinion about a resolution rather than, you know, whether or not they're going to set some kind of resolution to go after. But I mean, I don't really have one. I mean, I'm always trying to get in better shape, you know. That was one of the bummers about when everything got shut down. Is I was just talking to my wife about this the other day. I was like on a really good roll going to the gym for quite a few months in a row. And I would do it early in the morning. I was waking up early, going to the gym before work, feeling really good. And then all of a sudden stuff got shut down. It's like, oh, well, then again, you have to pivot, which I did. But then it's, you know, still there's the holidays hit, and, you know, I love sugar. It's a problem.
I mean, not to get distracted by that talk, but like, I can't tell you how many cookies I have downstairs right now in my kitchen. It's like ridiculous.
Oh, like, and double that, and that's probably what we have. So we have a lot of sugar, and I love chocolate so much. I have a problem. It makes things way more difficult. It's rough too when you look at a picture. So here's the problem. So last year around this time of the year, I like, you look at pictures. I look at pictures of myself. It's like, okay, I look a little bigger. And then like during the summer, I felt like I had lost a pretty good amount of weight, and like I could see it. People were even saying, it's like, oh, you look good. Oh, thank you. And then now I'm back to like, well, here we are. Step one again.
You're like, well, all that work is gone.
Right. And I'm looking at these pictures, like as I'm eating like a chocolate bar, I was like, oh, this is delicious. And you know, now but
I think I've given myself permission to be flexible over the holidays. It's like, it's so hard to avoid. You see family, or I mean, not so much this year, I guess, but you still like the whole traditional food for Thanksgiving and Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate. And then New Year's, there's just so many things one after another. And oh my gosh, it takes a lot of willpower to not
go
You know what I'm
crazy.
saying? Just to
Yeah.
not get, I don't know. So I
Yeah.
just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care.
That's very inspirational. I'm glad you said that. I hope
That
everybody's
I don't. Well, maybe that's why I'm working out way more than I normally would too. Maybe
maybe,
that's it too.
maybe.
And so, yeah,
Yeah.
I
No,
s-
yeah, I may be reaching out to you for some workout stuff. I don't want to pay though. So just send me some tips.
was gonna say all I had to say was title boxing. I'll talk about that at the end of the
Okay.
podcast though too. I'm
Perfect.
kidding.
Perfect. Um,
We'll just send a
but
punching bag your way.
perfect. I've thought about
Love.
getting one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to.
Cool.
I've talked about this before. I would love to go do title boxing because it looks like a lot of fun and really cool. It doesn't really work out for me right now
Yeah. Yeah.
for a lot of different reasons. But
Right.
it looks cool. Like
Yeah.
I just look at the pictures online. I follow them on Instagram and I get jealous.
Oh my
So
gosh. Yeah.
and then I eat, like I said, as I'm eating cookies, like man,
As,
that would,
as you're eating cookies, you're like, wow.
man, I'm sure
Okay.
that would help me get in great shape. That's kind of how it goes. So
Hey, I'm totally guilty of eating a whole box of Girl Scout cookies while scrolling through workouts on Instagram and just watching people work out. I've done that before.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
always the same conversation with yourself, right? It's like,
Yeah.
maybe tomorrow.
I'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of Girl Scout cookies? What's your favorite kind?
I love Thin Mints, but I think in
Of
that
course.
occasion I was eating lemonades. Those are so good.
So you were talking about
Like,
you were talking about like a specific instance.
yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like in general. Okay, this is a specific
Oh
moment.
no. I remember eating a whole row of lemonades
Okay,
and
those are
just
delicious too.
scrolling. Yeah.
There's
Those
lemon
are
in
so
it.
good.
It's fine. Like
They're
it's
just,
a fruit.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fruit.
That's what I tell myself when I eat Sour Patch Kids. Like it tastes like cherry. I think it's
It's a
fine.
fruit. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I know we can't have cookies. Well, we do have cookies. Let me take that back. We do have cookies here at the house. We shouldn't have cookies because we can fly through them. It's a huge
Yeah.
problem. You
Oh
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah. It's good.
And yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy? I was looking at the fitness app that I use to track all of
Mhm.
my running miles.
Yeah.
I actually ran a ton of miles this year just because
Nice.
of my schedule. I forgot
Yeah.
how many exactly I ran, but it was a decent amount.
For the
And
whole year?
for the whole
Like
year. Okay, I'm gonna
oh,
keep
nice.
talking. I'm gonna pull it up right now.
Okay.
And I
It,
wish I would have said, because I know like when we talked to Trav, he said his goal was to do 1,000. I wish I would have
oh
had
my
that goal in
gosh.
mind when the
Yeah.
year started, because I think that would have been something I could have done, or I
Yeah.
would have liked to have tried.
Right. While you look at that, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
because at first, so I used the Under Armour Map My Run on my
That's
app.
what I use.
Okay, so I used
Yeah.
that, but then once I got a watch, I started using my watch, and
Okay.
so I'm gonna have to add them together, I guess.
That's what I
Because
do.
now, yeah,
See, I used to
like,
have what did I have? I had an Under Armour fitness band. And so
mm,
it's so nice because I could just start the workout and it would sync it directly
yeah.
to the My Fitness Pal
Oh, nice.
or the Map My
Yeah,
Run app.
Map My Run.
It actually
Yeah,
would do both. I use both
yeah,
apps, and it was beautiful. Like it just made my life so much easier. And
yeah.
then the band wasn't. It turned out it wasn't the greatest fitness band.
Oh,
So
okay.
I use a different one now. But now I have to go log it in one and then log it in the other.
Yeah.
It's still I've done it for like a couple of years. It still makes me mad every time I do it. It's like oh I hate this so much.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I stop using the app and I just press the button on my watch and I go. And so it's just way, way easier. But I'm gonna have to look them up and add them together.
yeah. It's fun. It's one of those things I love. So
Yeah.
649.9 miles.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be 650. I did run today, so it will be 650 by the time I log that one. But
There you go.
I wish I would have had that in mind. Maybe I'll do it this year. Is try to get 1,000 miles in.
You have 2 days to do 350 miles to get to Trav's goal.
That's true. No, I'm good. I'm good. We tried. We tried to just go as far as we possibly could. If I was like David Goggins or something, maybe I'd go for it, but I'm not.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think. How many do you think you've done?
Oh gosh. I honestly can't even Like how many on average for you, like how many days a week and how many miles each time ish on average?
So I try to get out. I mean, I would say the minimum I do is probably 3 days a week. And
Okay.
then lately it's been like today I did about 3.5 miles, but usually I try to get to at least 4, if not 5. Like the cool thing is,
Okay.
since like especially this year when quarantine happened and I'm like, okay, well I can't go to the gym, so I'm going to increase my running. I feel like I don't know if this is gonna make any sense. I feel like what used to feel like 3 miles, like when I did 3 miles, how I'd feel after 3 miles now feels it's what I feel like after 5 miles. Like
Oh,
five
nice.
5 miles feels like
Yeah.
3 miles to me now, if that makes sense.
Right, because you're just doing it more and your body's
Right.
getting adapted to it.
Right. And then
Nice.
I run home and I eat sugar. But
Yeah.
the point being, I did
Me
run those
too.
miles. Yeah. So I would
I-
say probably about that. Like on a really good week, probably 5 days. I'm running 5.
Okay, mine might be similar to yours. Then I just wanted to see the average-ish running.
You just wanted to one up me. It's like, well, like one more mile
What'd
than
you
you do.
say? 650? I did 651.
651.
So,
Dang,
yeah.
I shouldn't have said
So,
anything. I should have
yeah.
had you speak first.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea. My running can be very sporadic. I can go on a running spree of like 2 weeks in a row, 3 weeks in a row, every single day, averaging between 3 and 7 miles, or I can like skip 2 weeks and do a different workout because my body's like, stop running so much. You're gonna hurt yourself. I did go through a thing over the summer where, and I was doing lots of running. All of a sudden, my left hamstring, just my left hamstring, no, nothing else, just would totally tighten up on me. I think I told you about this. Like it hurt so bad. I could barely extend it. And I'm like, maybe I need to stretch more. But like it was just my left side. It was weird.
That's
And
very
so I had to
strange.
go back to the chiropractor. I was trying to figure it out. And I'm like, maybe I just need to stop running for a second and do some hit workouts and do so I honestly did that. I just stopped running, just did some hit workouts, and then when I got back to running, I'm like, oh, I feel so much better. And so like I'm in the fitness world, like I just was just running and I needed to incorporate
Yeah.
other workouts in my runs, and so my legs didn't like it, and now I'm doing other things plus running and it's much better for my
Sure.
body. So anyway, so I took a little time off running for a little bit there.
Nice. That makes sense. I think that's really smart. I mean, sometimes I think there's like this misconception that if you just keep running, your legs will get stronger. But I think it really, really makes a huge difference when you do those other things.
Yeah.
I
Your
remember
body
one.
needs that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember one marathon I did. I would incorporate some biking or cycling
Mm.
in
Yeah.
between, and it helped a lot. Like I feel like my legs
Yeah.
were stronger, and I feel like when I did those marathons, the thing that always gave me trouble was my legs.
Yeah.
Your legs feel
Gotcha.
weak towards the end, which is going to
Yes.
happen. But I feel like they were really struggling a couple of times where it just felt like, oh, I feel like my legs are just going to give out on me. And I feel like those years when my legs were stronger going into it, it made a huge difference. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
if anybody is looking, if anybody out there is listening, all 13 of you or 10 of you, however many there are, if you're looking for some really good workouts, and I would say if you're in a decent fitness spot, we do on our other podcasts and our other Instagram character combine, we do post Friday workouts that Fridays that Deb creates and puts out there. Usually she sometimes misses Fridays, which is not a big deal, but it does happen. I just have to recycle them.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I've
Recycle
recycled plenty. I've recycled plenty. So I'm like, look at the clock. It's like she's not going to send anything.
Oh, it would be Friday afternoon. I'd be like, oh, I text him. Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
Sorry. And he'd be like, you're too late.
Too late. Not going to happen.
It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
That's what Josh would say to me.
Yeah, it's fine. I pivot. I know how my co-host is. It's fine. So, but anyways, I would say if you're in a decent, what would you say? If you're in a decent
Yeah,
it would be good to try. They're really hard, and there's been multiple times where I've tried them, and I text Deb. I say, "Hey, hope you're doing well. I hate your guts. Have a good day."
Yeah.
Because some of them really suck, but they're good though.
Oh yeah, there was one in particular I remember I made a few months ago and it had a lot of burpees in it. I hated myself during. I was like,
Yeah.
what was I thinking? This is awful. Like so bad. So there's one of them that
Yeah.
I dare you guys to do it just because I think in
It's really
total,
tough.
I think you do like over 200 burpees in total. Like it was a lot, or maybe I don't know, maybe that's a higher number
That might be a little
than
high. Because
what I'm thinking.
I
Yeah,
probably wouldn't be
100?
talking to you right now if we did 200 burpees.
It was like spread out though. It was like you repeated something. I don't know. Maybe it's like 75
What is it?
burpees. I
No,
don't know.
maybe it's jump squats.
I don't remember. I just remember that I was like, I remember doing the workout and I was by myself and I remember thinking, okay, if I pass out right here, who is going to find me? Because I might pass out because
Yeah.
I am so competitive. I'm like, no, I'm not cheating. I'm going to do these burpees.
Yeah.
And I was dying. So
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
then it made me angry because she decided to text me and say, "Hey, just did this. This is my time." Well, now I have to do it. I wasn't planning on doing
Yeah.
these stupid workouts that week, but then you text me that. I was like, well, now what am I supposed to do? I can't not do it because you include the time too. So
I did.
yeah,
It
that
was
wasn't
how
a
I
fun
had
one.
to do it.
And
Mm-mm.
then you're like, this
That was
this
awful.
one really sucked. I'm like, great, that's
Well,
fantastic.
and the burpees did suck because I can do about 10 burpees really fast, just 10. For some reason, once the 11th burpee gets there, I slow down a lot. So after the 10th burpee, it takes me forever to do one burpee at a time. And I have to like, try not to like, okay, another one. Like I go, so the burpees slowed me down or my time would have been way better because
Yeah,
everything else was, yeah, was
burpees
quick.
are brutal. You know, I don't know if you ever do this, but sometimes when I'm working out, I'll have my headphones in
Mhm.
and I'll be going, and then I'll take one of my headphones out, to readjust it or something, and then you realize
Mhm.
how hard you're breathing, but you don't
Oh
know
yeah.
before that because your headphones are in, but or not how
Oh
hard you're
yeah.
breathing, but how loud you're breathing. I'm like,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
the entire, like if I'm working out at a park, the entire
Yeah.
park can probably hear me breathing. It's like me
Exactly.
and then the golden retriever that's over, near the slide.
Yeah.
We're both like having
Yeah.
this panting
Oh
competition.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I
but
have to have my headphones in.
yeah, it's
Same.
brutal, but they
Yeah.
are good though. So that being said, like if you're out there and your resolution is to get in better shape, and like I said, if you're beginning, I really wouldn't recommend some of them. You maybe pick and choose. There's a
Yeah.
couple that aren't too bad, but some of them, like there's one
Right.
that's like there's like 30 of everything, and then
Yeah.
you do it 3 times. Like that one's tough,
Right.
but there's some easier
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can always, and I always say this, some people just don't know to do it, but like you can always modify too. Like you can change the
Right.
numbers instead of doing 30, you do like 10 but just with the whole, I like your comment about, in decent shape, just because I'm huge on form. So like if you don't know how to do a squat properly, or if you don't know how to jump squat the right way, it's really important that you know how to do all that stuff so you don't hurt yourself. So, but
Right.
yeah, go on
Yeah.
over there and check out those workouts. It's no equipment needed,
Right.
basically. I think
There's
I'm
a
trying
couple,
to
I
think.
think, like a
A
dumbbell
couple of
maybe.
them will say kettlebells, I think, but that I tried to make them as body weight friendly as possible so that you don't have to go to a gym. You can literally do it at home,
Yeah.
just like in your living room or something.
Right. And as much as I've joked about
Yeah.
these workouts, like that was one of the biggest benefits to me during this quarantine when the gyms
Mhm.
shut down. I'm like, well, I have some equipment
Yeah.
and not a ton, but these workouts you feel like you were in the gym for a couple hours after a couple of them. And
Yeah.
I never left my house, or I was in my backyard, or I went to a park, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
they are
Yeah.
really good. So I would definitely recommend it. And there's actually one that I like a lot.
Hmm.
And the reason I like it is because it's a really short one. You'll be done in less than 15 minutes. But there's been times where I'm on a busier day. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I got to get something in, but I
Do
don't have time to
something.
do, 40 push-ups, 40 burpees, 40
Yeah.
jumping jacks. That was going to take like 30 minutes, but I do have
Yeah.
10 minutes. And so, I forgot exactly what it was, but I think it's like 50 high knees, 40 jumping jacks, 30 mountain climbers, 20 sit-ups, and 10 burpees, and you just repeat that 3 times.
Yeah.
Super, I'm not gonna say it's easy, but like it doesn't take much time.
Right.
And
That's
so
good.
yeah, so that's the cool thing too, is like there's some that take. I did one
Yeah.
that our friend Nicole Root gave
Oh,
us, and that took me. So you I was such a moron. It was during the summer too. I'm like, yeah, it won't be that bad. I misread it.
oh my
I thought
God.
she said you run a mile and then you do these exercises 4 times. What she meant is you run a mile, do the exercises, then you do the mile again, do the exercises. So you're running 4 miles on
Mm-hmm.
top of all these exercises, and I thought I was
Oh
going to
yeah.
die. Yeah,
Oh yeah. I know. As soon as you said her name, I was like, oh no. Like my
I know. Like, oh,
my my tummy just dropped. I see the workout she does and I'm like, oh girl, I don't know if I can hang with you.
I
I
definitely
could
couldn't.
try.
It
Maybe
took.
not daily, maybe like once a week I could like try to hang with her and that would be like my, go all out workout, but not every day. There's no way.
Yeah, you could do it, but like you
Oh,
said, your stomach dropped. Mine's still at the park, and that was back in the summer. Like it hasn't come back. um,
yeah,
so,
that's awesome.
um,
Yeah.
oh, I had a question
Workouts.
for you.
Oh,
I
what do
can't
you?
I can't
But
remember. No, it wasn't.
well,
Don't get too excited.
well,
It
when we
wasn't that.
started, well, and I was like, why did we talk about working out? Because we started talking about resolutions, New
Yeah,
Year's
resolutions.
resolutions, and like what it means. And I don't know. I don't know that. Do people still make resolutions? Like, is that still? I feel like people are over resolutions, but maybe that's just me and people in my world. I don't know.
No, and that's kind of what I was trying to explain earlier. Is
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen more arguments about resolutions rather than people saying this is the resolution that I'm trying to achieve. You know what I'm saying? Like I've heard some people say
Yeah.
like, well, resolutions are dumb. Why would you do it? It's like, well, it helps me. Like, what I mean? I feel like, yeah, I feel like the word has just become,
Yeah.
it's
I
almost
mean,
like become synonymous with failure, if that makes sense.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause that's
I
always how I hear it. It's like, or a failure, or you're just delaying what you're trying to do. It's like if at the
yeah.
beginning of December you want to get in better shape. It's like, well, that's my New Year's resolution. Then you hear people say, well, why don't you just do it now? I feel like the conversation is always around that rather than
Yeah.
people actually making resolutions.
Yeah.
If that
I
makes
mean, at the
sense. I
end of
don't
the
know.
day, no, it does. And at the end of the day, it's like, do what you want, make a resolution or not. It's like, whatever.
Well, here's the
Not
thing too.
so,
Sorry, go
yeah. So
ahead.
I'm not hating on
No.
resolutions. I just don't, for me, I don't know. I just don't know what to make a resolution about. But anyway, it's like, yeah, it's a do what you want. If that helps people, some people it genuinely does like help them reset
Yeah.
themselves. And some people they're like, I'm not gonna do no. They're like, I'll do that in March. Why am I gonna do it now?
Right.
Or whatever. Whatever.
And I
So
think
sorry, go ahead.
that's what it comes down to, right? Like whatever is best for you.
Yeah.
If you're a person who says, yeah, on January 1st, I'm going to do this, and that helps you add structure or add a
Yeah.
framework to what you're trying to accomplish,
Yeah.
then do it. If that's going to help you
Right.
be successful, do it. And if you're a person that says, I don't need a resolution, perfect. You're in a
Yeah.
great spot, and don't worry
Right.
about it. But
Exactly.
I would say too, and this goes for anybody, whether you're making a resolution at the beginning of the year or like you said, in March, you might decide to try to get in better shape, whatever the case may be. I feel like one of the challenging things for people, and you would know this, I think, as a trainer, is when there's a failure. So say you go to the gym for 5 weeks straight, you don't miss a day, and then you say you have a bad eating day, and then you miss like 3 days of the gym in the row, and you don't work out at all, and people kind of throw their hands up. It's like, dang, I messed up. It's not the end of the road. It's a speed
No.
bump, right? And you just gotta. I
Yeah.
think the challenge for some people is getting back on it. They feel like
Mhm.
that slip up or that failure as far as their journey towards that fitness goal.
Yeah.
It's not the end all be all. It's like, okay, you had a bad eating day. We'll get back on it tomorrow.
There's
Or hey,
yeah.
you skipped the gym 3 days in a row. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
get back into it. So it's not like that. But I feel like sometimes people look at it as though the first slip
Mm-hmm.
up on that new journey is the
Yeah.
end of the world.
Right. It's like they go all, it's like for some people it's all in or all out. It's like if I'm not gonna work out every day or like eat healthy every day, then I'm out. And it's like,
Right.
no, you could still like it adds up if you like, even if you do it a couple days a week, it's better than nothing. So
Right.
hence why I don't really care what I eat over the holidays. I'm still working out. And I know nutrition is a huge part of like how your body feels and how it looks and how it performs. Um, but for me, it's fine. When the holidays are over, I'm gonna continuing my workouts, and I'm just gonna eat a little differently, and it's whatever. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, well, yeah. And for me, working out for me is not a punishment of what I'm eating. It's more of a, no, I need to work out, like, for my mental health. So like I
Yeah.
need to go do that. And so that's what drives me, at least, to work out. Everyone's different, and everyone's going to start off different too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good point. I think it's
Yeah.
similar for me. I mean, it's definitely not a punishment. Sometimes I feel like if I'm putting in the effort on the workout side, it's beneficial if I put the effort in on the food side too, because
Yeah.
I'm getting the most out of it. But I do think I'm with you. I think for me, it's not, I wouldn't say it's just like I don't know if I clear my head, but I feel like sometimes I'm my most creative when I
Mhm.
run. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
when I'm
Yeah.
working
We
out.
talked about that before. Yeah.
We talked about this before. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like, again, people know, like, I'm sure you've picked up on it before. I know my wife for sure knows, like, when I come back from a run, she knows, like, okay, he's probably gonna have like 6 ideas that just pop to his head on his run. So just brace yourself and get ready for like a
Yeah.
15-minute conversation where he just like is like, hey, I got this idea. What do you think? It just happens on the runs all the time. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I
That's
think
fun.
for me, it's like, that's
Good.
why it's so important, is I feel like, in fact, at the beginning of this podcast, I was really struggling with a couple of things that I was trying to put together and trying to figure out. I went on like a 5 or 6 mile run, and all of a sudden I came back. I'm like, I sat down at the computer and I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. And it just kind of started knocking it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It probably still didn't turn out great, but at least it sent me in the right direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. And it's just, well, no, there are studies that show, like when I was getting just my undergrad and my master's in kinesiology, there are scholarly articles everywhere about how the what exercise does to the brain, like how they take a group of people who exercise and a group that don't exercise, or however they do that, and they both take the same test, or they do the same thing. I forget what it was. The group that exercised like did way better than the group that didn't exercise. And
Sure.
I mean, I'm sure there's more newer and up to date ones than that. But I mean, that's what I try to teach my kids, at least. I'm like, look, you're gonna feel so much better, like, because they hate working out. They hate
Right.
high school kids hate PE unless they're an athlete. Even then they hate
I
it.
was
They
gonna
don't
say,
like it. They just want to play their sport, right? They don't want to
right.
do the fitness part. So but that just, when you said that, I just had to add that in there, because that just totally makes sense. It's better for your brain. So
Yeah,
anyway, there's
for
my
sure.
PSA about working out.
There we go. I know this has kind of become a fitness episode. It was not the intention.
No.
So,
No.
hey, and this is kind of sad news, but tomorrow, no, 2 days. In 2 days, The Office leaves Netflix.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm
It's a
gonna
bummer.
do. I've been trying to like plan what I'm gonna watch now. Well, like, it's more of like my background noise.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, what new show is gonna be my background noise? And I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I heard someone said it's gonna be on Hulu, but I doubt that. Why would it go from Netflix to Hulu?
Well,
Like,
so
I don't think it's gonna be anywhere.
No, I think it's on the Peacock, which is NBC's new platform. So
okay.
not to brag, but I do get that so it's pretty awesome.
How do you get that then?
It's like through Xfinity, so through cable.
Oh, I have Xfinity.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you have it then. Check it out.
That would be great. Okay.
It's pretty awesome. So I was really worried, and then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, we'll be okay, because it's the same thing. Like, it's just it's my go-to show.
Yeah.
I
think
love
everyone
that show so much.
I don't know anyone who's not upset about that. I don't know why they are doing this to us.
I know.
Why are they coming off Netflix anyway?
It is kind of, it is kind of the perfect way to end this year, though, right? Like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Right.
It's not right. It's not fair.
Like the cherry on top. Yeah. It just makes sense. Yeah.
I actually got a book for Christmas. It's all these untold stories about The Office. So it's Pretty cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Oh,
And
that's a cool gift.
actually the light that I'm using right now, this new light, so you can see how clear my face is. It's because of a new light. Yeah. Shout out to the brother-in-law, gave that to me for Christmas.
Oh, very
So,
cool.
yeah.
And
So
you're stepping it up. I'm gonna have to get one of those next. Well, I need to work on getting a new laptop first so that my picture looks better.
I'm just gonna give everybody a behind the scenes look into how we podcast. Deb bought that mic that she's currently using because I started the conversation off by saying, "Hey, would you be willing to do this?" Because my first thought was like, I really want you to buy a new mic because
he pretty much said, "Buy this mic because you sound like crap. Like I can't even understand. Like your quality of your laptop is so bad." And it is. It's 10 years old. I don't know how this thing is still alive. Every day I'm like, please don't die during our podcast. Like, please just.
Right.
And I use it for work. Like I'm on Zoom with my kids on this computer, and yeah.
Right. And I know, and I get it. Like I've told people before, I know it's Zoom. I'm not an audio engineer. I'm not great at this. So I know it's not going to sound perfect, but what I was hearing coming from your mic was brutal. I'm like, I can't, and it got worse. It was getting worse over time. I'm like, are you doing this podcast in traffic? What does that sound?
I know one time he's like, is your TV on? And I'm like, no. And he's like, what's that noise? I'm like, I don't know. I don't hear anything.
It was like a 15-minute delay in our podcast because I was really
trying to figure out what the noise was.
Something's going on. Are you watching The Office while we're trying to podcast?
It was just my crappy speakers, but now I have this.
And that being said, there's anytime I either get or buy a piece of equipment for the podcast, like I have a webcam that I attach to my computer, and the video quality's gone way up. There's been multiple times where I'm like, I should mention this webcam to Deb. Oh, I should also mention this ring light to Deb. I haven't done it yet until right now, but you know.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
If you're interested, it ups the quality. If you're not,
one step at a time. This is the first step. Yeah.
I'm just gonna start sending you links. Like, hey, look, this is pretty cool, right? Maybe I'm
gonna have to end up getting that stuff for work anyway. So
there you go. See, there you go. Yeah. Do it for the kids and Josh.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So anyway, behind the scenes, that's the kind of stuff that we talk about.
Now you guys all know.
Now you all know. So I know there's, one of the, like, if we're like, we talk about like the bigger things that we miss because of the pandemic and quarantine and all that, but and the serious things that we've learned. But there's like, if I'm looking at like silly things that aren't life or death that I just really miss, the thing that I probably miss the most is going to the movies. Like, I know it's not a big deal, but I don't go out very much. I'm a homebody, especially with kids now. I'm just a homebody. Like, it's just, I was a homebody before. It's just increased and doubled down since, having kids, and then obviously the quarantine. But the one thing I just love is I love movies, and I miss going to the movies so much.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think, like, I know I saw a couple of movies before everything got shut down, but I can't even remember what I saw.
Right. Well, and like, I know movies are still being made, but I feel like even the making of movies got shut down for a while because of COVID.
Did you hear Tom Cruise's rant?
No.
Oh, it's pretty intense.
Oh no. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to go find that now.
You should go find it. Yeah.
It'd be like my bedtime story right before bed. I'm gonna find it.
Oh, it's gonna be terrifying. Yeah. No, it had to do with quarantine. I think they were filming Mission Impossible 18, whatever they're on right now. And it's just this audio where he's just laying into a couple of the crew members there. Because I'm not even sure what happened. I don't know if they were too close and they weren't social distancing, or if they weren't wearing their masks, but he was just laying into them and basically saying how everybody's watching them and how they're conducting their business, and a lot of people's jobs are on the line. That dude's pretty intense with his job, and he's known for that, but he was very fired up. So you should take a listen. Now,
I might offend people when I say this, but do we even need another Mission Impossible movie?
Oh, I like them.
To begin with,
I enjoy them. But
I don't watch them, so I'm like, why are they still?
Yeah, to answer your question, do we
I
need one? Probably not. Do I enjoy them? Yeah, I'm probably going to see it. I
yeah.
enjoy them. What kind of movies do you like?
I mean, I like just the, romantic comedies like the chick stuff, but I like thrillers.
Okay.
I'm not into the action movies a ton.
Okay.
Like I know there are a lot of classic movies that I haven't seen that
Like what?
I'm not even gonna say because
No,
I
no, no,
just
no, no, no.
will get
What?
hated on. So like I've never seen Top Gun.
Okay,
I've
I'm
never
with you. I haven't seen it all the way through.
Okay.
I think I've seen the entire movie in chunks, but I've never
Okay.
watched it all the way through. So you're in a safe place, kind of. They're gonna
Ugh,
hate both of
I've
us.
I don't I'm not even trying to I don't I can't remember the titles of the other ones. Like I just remember one day my friends asking me like they're doing movie quotes and I'm looking at them and they're like, "Yeah, it's from blah blah blah." And I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "How have you not seen that?" And I'm seriously blanking. Like I'm not even trying to get out of what incompetence I have of not, watching these movies, but I just don't remember them. But there are a ton of classics that I haven't seen.
I'll tell you
Like,
mine. I have a bunch that make people upset. So, and
oh,
here's the
okay,
thing.
which
Like I
one?
said, I love movies. So I've seen
Maybe
a lot
some
of
of them
movies.
are mine too. So tell me yours.
Okay, so I haven't seen any of the Harry Potter movies. Um,
Okay.
I have no
I've seen all of
desire.
them.
Okay, see, I don't care about it at all.
All of them.
I
I
read the
love
first
them.
book. I'm like, I'm good. I've never seen Lord of the Rings. Like
I see. I don't want to watch. I tried watching those and I can't. So it's yeah,
well,
same.
see, you're a step ahead of me because I've never tried watching them because I have no desire. And
Oh, me
I
trying to watch them is like my family sitting down watching it and I have nothing else to do. And I sat down and like
that makes
looked and I'm
sense.
like, what are we watching? And then like, nope, walked away, went in my room. Yeah,
I
that
don't.
thing.
I've never seen Titanic.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh.
Also,
I saw Titanic in the movie theater when it came out. I was
oh,
really young.
nice. Never saw it.
Yes.
I'm
It's
talking like
crazy.
I've never seen a minute of it. I've just never seen it, which I know it's weird. I know it's like a huge like miles
Like,
or I don't know the right
yeah.
term, milestone movie. It's a big movie like in the industry.
Mhm.
I've just never
Yeah.
seen it. I've never seen Avatar.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Again,
I
it's
haven't seen that one either.
yeah.
Mm.
I kind of think they the same director, so maybe it's a problem with his movies. I don't know.
Yeah. Eh, Titanic is really good. Well, maybe it's just because I thought Leo DiCaprio was my husband way back then when I was like 10 years old. I
But
just
like I feel
wanted
like
to
every
marry him.
10-year-old girl thought that, didn't they?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I just loved it. Well, and I love Kate Winslet too. I just adore her. So,
Okay.
yeah, so I mean, they did a good job with that movie. And
Sure.
so,
I'm sure it's great. I just
yeah,
never seen it. And I feel like there's something else, another movie that people
Avatar.
just oh well, a TV show. I've never seen Game of Thrones.
So, I've watched maybe a couple seasons, but I never by myself. Like I don't want to watch it by myself. I don't know what's going on.
Wait,
There are
why?
so many characters.
Why not by yourself?
There's so much because I have questions. No one's there to answer questions for
Do
me.
you talk during movies?
Uh, sometimes, yeah.
You guys all heard that. That was a first.
I am a wait. Stop. What's going on? I am a wait. What just happened? Or I
Oh
want
my
to be like,
gosh.
oh, did you see that? And like that. Oh yeah, I'm
Okay,
a
let me ask you
talker.
this. Let me ask you this.
It,
This drives me nuts. I don't like when people do this because I personally like if I haven't seen a movie that I know other people have seen, I don't want to know. Like if I'm watching it with you, I'm just gonna watch the movie. I'm not gonna ask questions. I'm just gonna watch the movie. I know
oh,
people,
yes.
my wife, who will, if I've seen a movie, but she hasn't, she'll ask me like at the beginning of the movie, it's like, oh, is that the killer? It's like, oh, I don't want to tell you, but then like you asked me, that's you, isn't it?
It's me in a fun way. I'll be like, I think it's him. Is it him? And then like
Oh,
usually
it's
whoever I'm watching it with will
a
be
fun
like,
way.
I'm not telling you. Well, like I just will like it's more I'm entertaining myself.
I was gonna
I
say
just
it's fun only for you. I can guarantee
it's
the person
fun
you're
for
watching
me.
with, they're like, oh
I
gosh.
think I've annoyed so many people because they'd be like, at the end, do you really want me to tell you? No, don't tell me. Don't tell me. But is it okay? But is this happening? Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that's me with
I
movies, which is why people probably don't want to watch movies with me, which is probably why I don't watch a ton of movies anymore because I don't like watching movies alone. And I'll watch a movie alone if I've seen it and I want to watch it again and again. I don't mind repeating movies.
Sure.
I'll do that, but I don't watch new movies alone. I don't know why. I just don't know if anything's good and I don't want to waste my time. And I have no one to talk to. So it's boring for me. So I don't
See, based on everything you're saying, I'm surprised you don't watch all of the movies alone, because I would never watch a movie with you. I'm just saying it
That's
right
what I'm saying, because that's because I don't watch it alone, because it's not fun to watch it alone, because I want to ask questions and I want to like interact. So yeah, but that's why maybe that's why no one watches movies with me anymore.
You're absolutely right. That's the exact reason why they don't. And like I said, I would, yeah. All right. Good to know.
So anyway, I haven't seen Avatar either, though. I think that was the last movie. Oh no, you said Titanic.
I haven't seen that one. Yeah. So I'm with you. There's a bunch of these movies that people are like, especially I get that a lot with, like I said, Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. So like, I can't believe you haven't seen it. It's like, I just have no interest. It's not even me being difficult. I just have no interest in those movies. I'm sure they're great. I just don't care.
Yeah. I'm right there. Well, I'm right there with you with the Mission Impossible ones. I just don't care.
No, wait a minute. No, I like those movies.
That's why we started talking about this, because we started talking about, you're like, what movies do you like? So
I do like those movies. Yeah,
I
not
like
for
the
you. Thrillers. Okay.
Thrillers.
Have you seen that movie Searching?
No. What is that?
Oh, you would like it. It's basically it's this guy, his daughter goes missing, and so he's trying to find her, but it's all shot through like Zoom, right? Or it's all shot through FaceTime, or it's all shot through cameras.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about.
It's really good. I know some people that I was talking to, like, oh, it's not that great. And I'm like, well, you're dumb. I thought it was good. I think you would enjoy it. If you enjoy the thriller movies, I think you would enjoy that one. There's also one with Denzel coming out soon. That looks really good.
I bet that one's going to be good.
That one looks like it's pretty intense. Yeah, it's a thriller for sure. I think they're trying to catch like a serial killer or something.
Yeah, Denzel does some really good thrillers.
He's my favorite. I love Denzel. Man on Fire is my favorite movie.
Oh, okay, that's what it was. I was like, there's a movie that I saw recently for the first. I saw Man on Fire.
Okay.
I did. No, I saw that. Be careful.
This will be the end of the podcast.
I saw it for the first time.
Okay.
I think earlier this year.
Yeah. Like, what'd you think? Be honest. It won't hurt my feelings.
Oh, I loved
it's really
it.
Good, huh? It's really good.
Yes, it was good. Well, because it's like it's a thriller. It's like at least that's what I classify it as, right?
I think so. Thriller. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Thriller drama, I guess.
He's a very bad man in that movie, and it's awesome to watch.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's very intense. Yeah, my favorite movie for sure. What about this podcast is all over the place. Happy New Year, everybody. This is how we're kicking off the
Yeah,
like we said, we don't really want to talk about all the craziness of 2020, because people have done that a lot. Yeah. And it's like we're trying to bring something a little different. So have there been any TV shows that you've watched this year that you got hooked on, or that you discovered that was really good?
Does reality TV count?
Okay. I hate reality TV. Like, I just hate it. I will watch The Bachelor, Bachelorette sometimes.
Oh, okay. So I started watching The Bachelorette just because she's from Sacramento, and I actually watched her entire season when she was on The Bachelor, like 6-7 years ago, like a while ago, and I saw that whole season. I remember just thinking like, oh, like that girl's from Sacramento, so cool. And then when they announced her as The Bachelorette this year, I'm like, why does her name sounds familiar? I got to look her up. And I'm like, oh, that's the Sacramento girl from years ago on Juan Pablo's season. He was the worst Bachelor, by the way. I can't even get into that. Anyway.
Yeah, there's I don't know if I want to say it.
Is that a whole new topic there?
It is. No, he had I'm not going to say it on here, but he had one of the funniest lines that I've ever heard. So, one of the things that got me really into it was they did like a bracket on ABC's website, like a March Madness bracket. I'm like, oh, this is
Yeah.
awesome. Because one year I was watching it and like this woman, I forgot her name, but she got out of the limo, right? Their first episode, she got out of the limo and I'm just like, that woman's going to win for sure. And she ended up winning that season. I'm like, I'm awesome. I'm awesome at this. And then they did these brackets, like March Madness style brackets. I'm like, oh, this will be a lot of fun. So me and my family did the brackets. I did probably the worst in the family. I'm like, well, that was just like a random lucky guess the last time I did it, because I'm clearly horrible at this, because I thought I could just tell by that first interaction who he was going to be with. And it was, completely wrong. But anyways, the Juan Pablo one, he had a line. He has a line in there that my brother Jordan and I joke about all the time. It's probably the funniest thing I've heard someone say on TV. And I'm not going to repeat it here.
What?
We'll talk off air.
Give the people what they want. They want to hear the line.
Not today. Maybe later. Okay. Maybe I'll do it when Jordan's on the air and when we have him as a guest. Okay. But it makes us laugh to this day.
Okay. But anyway, he was the worst ever. So I stopped watching Bachelorette after him. No joke. Yeah. So anyway, I started watching it when I heard it was Claire. Yeah. But then I stopped watching it. And I don't know why. I think I just kind of, I don't know. I just stopped. It wasn't, not that it wasn't interesting or drama filled. But anyway, so I watched that for a little bit, but another reality show that I've been religiously watching and I'm trying to catch up on because there are so many seasons of it. My friends make fun of me and my roommates make fun of me and I don't care, but I'm probably going to
make fun of you too.
I watch the Kardashians. I love that family. Jordan and I were talking about it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. He loves reality shows.
I don't even care what anyone says. So I watched the Kardashians. I'm on season 14 right now. And they have, my gosh, I think they're currently filming season 20. So I have some seasons.
That's a long time. I didn't realize it was that long.
Yes. And then so 20 was going to be their last one. And then I read in the news somewhere that they're going to start a different reality show on Hulu. And so I'm so excited. Everyone's like, what? That's so dumb. I don't care. I'm excited. That family has entertained me beyond days. You have no idea how hard I've laughed. I just don't care. Anything that makes me laugh, I am like, we're cool. Like, I love it. So that family's crazy. I love it.
Oh, they're crazy for sure. I have just zero desire. I don't know what it is. I can't get into it.
Oh,
I can't. It makes me sick. I'm like, this would be awful to sit in front of this. But good for you. I'm glad you're enjoying that. I'm glad you're enjoying that. Would you ever be a part of a reality show?
I mean, sure, but I don't know how exciting it would be. This is the reality show right here. This is it.
Yeah, you're right.
It'd be me and my sleeping dog over there next to me. And all my mermaid blankets that I have in the background.
Oh yeah, anybody who's watching this, that was when we first got on Zoom. That's the first thing I saw. I'm like, is that a mermaid tail? I just had a feeling. If you guys don't know, Deb loves mermaids.
Yeah, I am 12 years old. If you didn't know.
12 years old. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
and we also found out this was a resurgence of your love of mermaids, because you stopped around 10 years old or 12 years old, and then all of a sudden you hit your 30s. It's like, you know what? I do love mermaids. I want to give this another go.
I was telling Josh, it's my third life crisis, meaning 1/3, like.
Yeah, a third of her life. When we had this conversation, I thought she meant like it was.
He didn't get it.
The third time she's had a life crisis. I'm like, oh gosh, this is not good. You should probably see someone. It's happened 3 times.
Exactly.
Okay,
but that's the TV show. I can't think of any other TV shows, honestly, that I've been watching lately that are new.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just every night I watch an episode of the Kardashians before bed.
There you go. It's so sad. That sounds awful. All right, good for you though. No judgment. No judgment. It's fine. I don't really watch a ton of TV, but I did get into Yellowstone. It's a TV show with Kevin Costner. Really good. My youngest brother got me into that, and
I've heard of that.
And I'm pretty picky when it comes to TV shows. Like, I don't watch a ton. Like, as we joked before, I tend to just pop on The Office again and just continue to watch that.
Right.
So if I get into a TV show, it's usually means I'm I'm pretty into it. So that was a fun one. I just finished that last night actually.
Oh, nice.
And, that was good.
Cool. I heard that's good.
Really
I've heard
good.
of that show. Okay.
All right.
I'll have to check that. There's lots of shows that I need to check out, but I'm just busy watching the Kardashians.
The Kardashians, yeah. Well, you still have 6 seasons to go, so you're gonna be busy for a while.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It'll be a hot minute before I can get into any of these other TV shows. So
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we've realized that we don't have anything in common when it comes to things that we watch. We're completely polar opposites, which makes it for a good podcast, I think.
Exactly.
So
bring a little bit of each to the table.
I think so. So I don't know if we have anything else to talk about. I think we've kind of hit a bunch of random stuff that no one really cares about. So the last thing that we want to do, and we've done this with our 2 guests that we've had on, make sure you go back and check those out. But something that we want to do is what we call the connectable suggestion. And the whole point of that is we want to make everybody connectable. That's why we named this podcast Connectable, is to make, give people opportunity to get connected to different people, right? So you might hear a guest we have on the show and it might be your first time even hearing their name or hearing them speak. And so, you might get connected to them after you hear what they have to say, or it gives them a chance to share what they do so that you can get more familiar with what they do. So the whole idea is to get people more connected. And part of that is we want to give our guests an opportunity to share with everybody someone or something, whether it be a brand or an organization. Maybe it's a movie or a TV show that you're just really into, whatever it may be. Give some kind of suggestion of something that we need to be connected with. And so we decided that even when we don't record with a guest, we wanted to do the same thing. So Deb, what is your connectable suggestion for everybody?
So my connectable suggestion for everyone in the Sacramento area, but I believe it's other areas too, is title boxing. That's all I have to say. It has
hold on. That's the only one we care about. We only care about the Sacramento one. So I'm sure there are others.
There's other ones, but okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's title boxing ice blocks. That's the Instagram tag. Title boxing ice blocks. It's just got a big T. You need to, at least go, and I don't care. This is like my PSA for them. You need to go at least take a free class. They give you your first class for free just to get a feel for it. I'm a type of person who I need to switch up my workouts. And even though I'm pretty disciplined myself in working out, I can do a workout, no problem. I can make myself a workout. I'll kill myself, whatever. But if I need to switch up, after a while, I actually do need someone to tell me what to do. Mm-hmm. And I do need someone to push me because sometimes, we're human. After a while, I'm just kind of like, I lose a little bit of motivation. And so anyway, so going there, and I'm also very just competitive and aggressive because I'm an ex-athlete. We have no more indoor soccer right now. So I don't have that aggressiveness and competitiveness to take out on someone or something. So boxing has just been amazing. And I have never sweat so much, like ever, almost ever. Like they give you such a good workout in 45 minutes. Anyway, I'm obsessed. I think they're tired of seeing me already. I go every single day.
Oh, I'm sure that's not true.
Oh no, I go like it got to the point to where it was one of the trainer's birthday on Sunday. And I wasn't there because I was out of town Saturday night. I didn't come home till Sunday, like later. And I get there today, or was it yesterday? Yesterday was Monday. So I go Monday and they're like, yeah, weren't you here yesterday? Didn't you see the birthday workout? You were here. And I'm like, no. And people were like, yeah, you were here. I saw you. And I'm like, no, you saw me. And she's like, no, we saw her every other day, just not yesterday. Yeah. Like we think we saw her because she comes every day. Yeah. So,
that's awesome.
But anyway, so title boxing ice blocks is the Instagram tag. If you just, just to be completely like blunt and honest, everything costs money these days. I understand that. But for me, it's totally worth it. And it's one of, I don't know how many other gyms are open like they are, because they're a private company, but they just do an amazing job and they take care of their clients. And so, yeah, that's my connectable thing. my,
Awesome. Yeah,
my
awesome. And
connection for everybody.
the owner, Blake Kidwell, is a really awesome guy.
Yeah.
So definitely go, and they're one of those small businesses that you were talking about earlier that could definitely use the support during this time. So if you're in that area,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and you have some time, definitely go check it out. Like you said, Deb, they're free. The free first class is free, right?
Yeah. Just go try it. That's what for me, that was all I needed. I was hooked. But
Cool.
yeah. What
That's
about for
good.
you?
So for me, going a little bit different direction, but one of the organization, like I said, with Character Combine, the umbrella 501c3 over that is the Alliance for Compassion and Education Development, which is ACE, which is the office or the place that we were recording when we did all of those podcasts in person. And so they just do a ton of amazing things, and one of the main things that they're doing right now is what's called EASE, and it's a program where they help students, I believe middle school and high school students, get there might be a student that's in a tough spot, maybe in a bad family situation, maybe they just don't have the opportunities, and it's a program that helps those students along and helps them get into a better situation so that they can get a better education, and they can get a lot more support that's needed, from a really amazing team, Shireen, John, and Melanie, who are over there. And I just wanted to give them a shout out because they've always been super supportive of what we've done as far as the podcast. And, obviously with them dealing, as you know, Deb, as a teacher, them dealing and working with students, this is a really challenging time. So when you have, you might have students that are already dealing with some really big obstacles in their life already, and they're, fueled by the support that they're receiving from the team over at ACE, and they get to see them every single day, and they're being mentored by this team of 3 people at ACE. When that's taken away because of the quarantine, like there's a massive piece of their life and a massive support system that's being affected by that. So they're doing a great job, persevering through that and figuring out creative ways to continue to support the students and continue to, challenge them and support them and love on them. So, I'm biased because, I worked with them for 4 or 5 years and I still volunteer there. So I'm definitely biased, but I think they definitely deserve some love. So definitely head over to their website. It's ACED online, ACEDONLINE.com. Definitely go over there, get a better idea of what they're about. That will give you a much better idea of what they're about compared to what I just said about them. It doesn't even fully justify or explain what they do, but I would definitely head over there and check out, ways you can support them if you feel inclined to. But I would, especially like I said, right now, their students are struggling, as all students are, because of the distance learning, and just the toll it's taking on their mental health is brutal. And so, like I said, they're doing a great job of working with the hand that they've been dealt, but they could always use some more support. So definitely go check out ACED for sure.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool.
And that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I wasn't sure where that was going. Like,
I don't know.
I was ready for something deep. Okay. So nope, not at all. It's later. So, and you're still on winter break. So, the days are all kind of,
I got boxing in the morning, so let's wrap this up.
so you can punch some bags.
Exactly.
So you guys can follow us on Instagram at Connectable Podcast, Twitter at Connectable Pod, Facebook Connectable Podcast, and make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Just Connectable Podcast. This is a video podcast as well as an audio podcast. So make sure you give us a like on YouTube, subscribe so you can see each week's new episode. And then make sure you subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, whether it be Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify. And then if you wouldn't mind heading over to Apple Podcast, if you have it, and giving us a 5-star review and writing a little bit of a review for us, that'd be fantastic. We definitely appreciate that. And if you don't have Apple Podcasts, see if your friend would let you borrow their Apple Podcast and write a review on your behalf. That would be awesome. So we definitely appreciate the support, and that's all we've got.
Yeah.
So
right.
yeah, until next time.
Until next time.
See ya.
Peace out.
Thanks for watching the show. If you enjoyed that episode, make sure you like it, share it, and hit the subscribe button to get a new episode every week. We'll see you next time on the Connectable Podcast.